They're close to 500,000 elected officials in America, from the White House all the way down to your local council members and sheriffs and whatnot. 500,000. Big number. America is a big country, big moving parts, a big machine. The UK has 20,000 elected officials. Guess how many of them are Muslims? Between 900 to 1,000, which is less than 5%. You already know what the UK looks like. Just 5%. America's share of Muslim elected officials is not that big, but it is getting there, okay? This guy is the mayor of Dearborn, Michigan, Abdullah Hammoud. Listen to him.
Welcome to Dearborn's annual March for Justice. This march commemorates Imam Hussein alayhi salam's unwavering commitment to justice and the stand that he took over 1,400 years ago, standing against oppression.
F you and your oppression and your Imam Hussein. We've got nothing to do with that. Americans don't care about him. Americans have no interest in that. But what does it mean when you invite a foreign hostile culture that has completely different set of values to follow than your own? What happens after that? This is what happens after that. Check out this. I don't know if this guy is Muslim or not. He's Dearborn's first Muslim chief. Yeah? So a lot of Americans are obviously concerned about the fall of Dearborn and other towns and cities across the across the US. So they're protesting, which is their constitutional right. Protesting is so central to being an American that these people can never understand, because protests are not allowed in Islam. In a caliphate, if you protest, if you go against the caliph or the authority, then your hands and feet have to be cut off from opposite ends, or you should be, or you could be crucified. That's Quran chapter 5 verse 33. And look at this. This is what happens when you invite people from foreign hostile cultures.
I'm Chief Issa Shaheen, and we're aware that individuals and groups from outside our community may come to the Dearborn City Council meeting on Tuesday, August 18th. We've been monitoring the situation closely and coordinating with our state and federal partners. We have a plan in place, and you'll see an enhanced presence of police officers. But here's my direct ask of our residents. Please stay home. These groups that are coming here are coming for one reason, and that's to provoke a reaction and generate attention. If nobody shows up to react, they have nothing. The most powerful thing that this community can do is refuse to give them an audience. If you have business before council, you're welcome, and you'll be safe. We'll make sure of it. But if you're thinking about coming down just to confront these people, don't. That's exactly what they want, and it puts you at risk. Let our officers do their job. Don't let a handful of hateful outsiders define who we are. Dearborn is stronger than this. Thank you.
So this is a planned protest on the 18th of August. It is 18th of August today in Australia, so probably tomorrow this is going to happen by the time you watch this video. But this is what happened previously in Dearborn.
A fine line between free speech and then inciting riots and things of that nature. But unfortunately, more times than not, hate speech is also a protected form of free speech. I would take that question and actually channel it towards our Attorney General to see what she may do with her hate crimes unit.
Hate crimes. See that? Hate crime, hate speech. They have a problem with that. These guys are completely authoritarian, which leads to totalitarianism. Islam is a totalitarian ideology. These people, look at the anger on his face.
To see if there's anything that can be levied against these agitators and provocateurs.
Find me something that you can throw at these people. Turn that into a hate crime or something, because, you know, hate speech is still covered as free speech under the American Constitution.
Come to Dearborn time and time again. And I can tell you this won't be the last time for Mr. Lang. He is set to come before court later this
Look at this. Last time when Jake Lang was in Dearborn, this is what happened to Jake Lang.
Oh, Jesus!
See that? This guy, his name is Abbas Abdouche, obviously a Muslim. But the good thing is, he's actually getting deported for committing murder in 1999. Can you believe this? He committed a murder in 1999, and guess where he's staying? In Dearborn. Look at them.
No rioting, no violence, 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 no violence.
Look at this.
No violence, no violence, No violence. Of Jesus.
And the clip cuts out. So that happened, guys. And this police officer has the audacity to say, oh, these guys are hate preachers. They're coming here to spread hate. And this is the reason why he's actually telling them, hey, dear Muslims, don't blow your cover. The reason why I'm playing you this is, listen to this. They know what they're doing. Listen to this. They're saying it openly what they want to do to America.
Us living here in Western lands, a part of our agenda, a part of our, shari'i huquq, and Allah wants us to do this, is to establish our version of laws in the society we live in.
Just this should be enough. This is sedition. This is treason talk. Look how broadly he's talking about. It's not just America he's talking about, because these guys are united in their hatred for the West. And that's why they're propping up Muslim politicians everywhere. They're telling you what they're going to do to you. They are saying that in these Western lands, we have to apply Sharia, our set of laws. How is that not sedition? How is that not a challenge to the Constitution of the United States?
Is it our long-term explicit goal?
Yes.
That we want to enforce our laws on the rest of society? If that is the case, what are going to be the repercussions of the minorities living here? We need to think these things through. Our ultimate goal is to rule over the land. Our resources.
Our ultimate goal is to rule over these lands, guys. This guy is America's most prominent Islamist scholar, Yasser Qadhi.
Are limited. As a Muslim community in America, we have limited people already in the game.
I want people in this part of the world to embrace Islam, and I want, once they do so, to join the larger ummah. Obviously, Muslim minority situations, us here in America, it is not something that the Sharia asks of us to do in minority situations, to aspire to a khilafah, or to aspire to political dominance and to overthrow the internal system in a coup d'etat.
Or commit a coup or have a coup d'etat. So what he's saying, that as long as we are a minority, it is not obligatory on us to establish a caliphate. However, we still strive to do so.
It is political suicide.
All of these verses are there. That's the Meccan phase. Now, obviously, in the Medinan phase, Muslims have now political power. Now, the question here is that, should we apply any laws of Medina in societies and situations that might be more, akin to Mecca?
So what he's saying here, so in the first 10 years of Islam, Muhammad was in Mecca. He was protected by his uncle. So he could challenge the polytheists of the time of Quraysh, but nobody paid any attention. That's why I think only 30 or 40 people converted to Islam in the first 10 years. Then he ran to Medina in the middle of the night because his patron, his uncle, died. And there was no one to protect him. So in the middle of the night, he just ran to Medina. And that's when he started violent jihad. That's when it started. So that's known as the Medinan phase. Now, that's when Islam spread exponentially, not because of the power of its message, but because of its violent nature. That's what he's talking about. He's saying, as long as we are a minority, this is a very good montage of his separate videos, because these guys, they're slippery. They know, they're clever. That's why we need to grab all their separate videos and stitch them up together. Nothing. I challenge Yasser Qadhi to debate me if I'm misrepresenting him. So he says, as long as we are a minority in the Meccan phase, we can't challenge them. We can't do anything. We have to, it's not even obligatory upon us to establish a caliphate. It's not required of us, because that's what Muhammad did. Muhammad didn't try to challenge the status quo. He was just preaching peacefully. That's exactly what they're doing, preaching peacefully. So we're going to grow our numbers. Muhammad failed. Only 40 people converted to Islam in the first 10 years. So they're failing too. Contrary to whatever they tell you, all these redhead people, these white redhead, they show you that they've converted to Islam, the number is minuscule. It is not going to bring about the fall of the West. It's not. Even if they convert 10,000 people a year, that's nothing, because more people are leaving Islam as well. We don't have the updated numbers, but the last survey that was done by Pew in 2016, it said that the people who convert to Islam is the same as people who leave Islam. In America, that was. So this is the Meccan phase right now. The second phase is the Medinan phase when Muhammad started his violent jihad. This is what he's telling you. Listen to him.
These verses are there. That's the Meccan phase. Now, obviously, in the Medinan phase, Muslims have now political power. Now, the question here is that should we apply any laws of Medina in societies and situations that might be more, akin to Mecca? Well, we understand that in minority situations, we do not enact vigilante justice, that the harms that will come are far more than any potential good that you think is going to happen. I'm standing with my mentor, my sheikh here.
See, brothers and sisters, you have to understand where you are in the climate. For instance, the first 13 years in Mecca, the Meccan
Sorry, I said 10. It's 13 years. He's going to tell you that now.
period, no verses about jihad. But then Allah revealed after the migration, وَقَاتِلُوا فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ الَّذِينَ يُقَاتِلُونَكُمْ وَلَا تَعْتَدُوا إِنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يُحِبُّ الْمُعْتَدِينَ. Fight in the way of Allah. So the general principle in the first 13 years is patience. I say the same thing here. The same thing here in these countries. Let us be patient.
Prophet said, fight the pagans, fight the kuffar with your tongue, with your pens, and with your hands. There's times and places for different types of jihad.
See? Right now, it's time to just do your jihad with your tongue. The time for jihad with your hands will come in time. My question to you is, why are you letting that happen? Look at the UK. Yeah? The UK is about to enter phase 2. So I think this is why I genuinely believe that whatever happens is going to happen in the UK first, which is going to alert the rest of the Western world. So in Australia, we are already warning people that they're coming. And why would they change their method? Why would they change their methodology? If it worked in the UK, it's about to work in France and Germany too. They're all three of those countries are very close. Actually, Spain had just imported 70 or 80,000 Muslim fighting age Muslim men in the space this year alone. So who knows? It might go down in Spain before it does in the UK. But the UK is at a stage where chaos is inevitable. Some sort of civil unrest or / civil war is inevitable because it's too late for them to do anything without paying a significant cost to their society. So let's just say a far right-wing political party wins. Rupert Lowe wins. Not going to happen. Probably Reform's going to win, and Reform doesn't have the spine. So this is going to linger on for another 5 years. So come 2034, Muslim population would have doubled by then. They're currently sitting at 10%. It might get to 15, 16% or 20% by that point, which means more political influence. So the longer the UK waits for remigration, the worse it's going to be when they actually do it. So at that point, something bad is going to happen, regardless. Even if the remigration happens peacefully, let's just say all radical Islamists are deported, the families choose to go with them, all welfare scroungers are deported, only good Muslims remain, and we reduce the number down to, let's say, 5%, which is good, productive, good Muslims. Yeah, I like those good Muslims. I don't want good Muslims to suffer, which is a reason why I'm saying you need to act now. So good Muslims don't suffer. Yeah. And by good Muslims, I don't mean the one who's not blowing up, the one who's not liking Muhammad Hijab's videos. By good Muslim, I mean the one who's not practicing Islam, the one who doesn't believe in praying on the streets and antagonizing the natives, the one who's completely integrated and assimilated, the one who wears Western clothes, the one who doesn't care, the one who doesn't see his identity, his Muslim identity, as separate from the wider British identity. That's my definition of good Muslim. Not the one who's not stabbing you. That's the default. No one should be stabbing anyone anyway. The one who actually thinks, yeah, fair enough. In Britain, we can criticize and mock any religion, including Muhammad. That's a good Muslim. And according to surveys, 60 to 70% Muslims believe that blasphemy should be outlawed. So, if that's anything to go by, that's a lot of deportations. But let's just say that happens. Remigration happens in 2034. You're going to have skill shortages. You're going to have a shortage of doctors. And obviously, a lot of white people are not making as many babies. So The United Kingdom, if it is to maintain its British identity and get serious about preserving it, preserving its history and culture, then it is going to go through some sort of chaos, okay? Could be violence, because let's say most people are not going to go peacefully. They're ready. They've got a lot of weapons. There are many reports that are suggesting that Albanians have been smuggling weapons into the United Kingdom. So we have a video of Muslims confirming that they have weapons stored in their mosques. Listen to this.
Like that, what I would do is just call them.
This is a Muslim police officer. So they sent a Muslim police officer to this angry mob of Muslims, and he's saying, if you have any weapons or anything like that, what I would do, I would discard them in the mosque. And that's what they did. So it's a long-held belief that these mosques are not just full of radical preachers, they're also full of radical jihadis with weapons. So most likely, there's going to be some kind of violence. Maybe that's the reason why the United Kingdom, the government of the UK, doesn't want to touch it. But it's going to happen. My question is, why do we have to get to that stage? Just ban all migration from Muslim countries strictly. Only bring in the best of the very best, and do not let them go into their Muslim ghettos. Let's just say there's a genuine Muslim doctor. Okay, we have had some good Muslim doctors and surgeons. A really highly qualified, genuine Muslim doctor who comes in. We want to bring his family because he's going to serve the community. Make sure that he does not go into Ilford. He does not go into a Muslim ghetto. And most likely, if he's getting paid a lot, he's probably going to choose to stay in the white neighborhood. But for some reason, if that Muslim doctor or surgeon does hold very strong views about Islam and Gaza and the West bombing Muslim lands, blah, blah. Sorry, stay in your fucking shithole. Stay there. We don't need you. Minimize immigration from Muslim countries. Reduce it down to 1% and bring in the best of the best. That's what used to happen back in the 90s and the 80s. That was the norm. That's why most immigrants in America and Australia were actually good people. They didn't create their ghettos, but something happened in the last 10 or 15 years. And look at Dearborn. Or maybe that's always an inevitable result. Even if you bring in a Muslim surgeon, a Muslim scientist, his kids are going to be some sort of radical Islamist because they're going to struggle. Because when they see gay bars, when they see nightclubs, when they see intermingling of people, something ticks off in their heads. That is antithetical to the belief system that they are raised with. Okay? So it's like mixing water and oil. Maybe, you know what? Just put hold on immigration from Islamic countries. This is not racist. This is a cultural argument. And there's nothing wrong in wanting to preserve your identity. There's nothing wrong with that.